What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you from a late Sunday night, preparing for tomorrow's session. Tonight we're going to be talking about MMAT. As promised, here is the statistical analysis. So I did receive some pretty interesting results here. So I want you guys to know that we're going to try to keep this video a little short. I know these long 30-minute videos are becoming kind of a nuisance, so we're going to try to rush through these things and try to get the information out as soon as possible so that we can get some sleep, some rest for tomorrow's session. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the results here. So I ended up, I spoke to you guys about how this is done. Every time we reach the 95 percentile and above, we're going to take that as an iteration. For example, in this iteration here, you can see that it's red because it was incorrect. We actually ended up going down rather than a correct iteration to where it ended up going up. So the results are interesting. Let's go ahead and look at those. Let's look at the averages here. All right, so I ended up taking two different results. Now, mind you, this is all hand back tested, or back tested by hand. For the bullish side, remember, please, again, you guys, I'm partially bearish on the MMAT for the time being. I'm thinking that we're going to be going. If you all recall correctly, we are in a descending broadening wedge that requires still a test of our newly converted resistance into support. All right, so regarding the bullish side, which I don't feel like this is going to be the probability, we're probabilistically, I'm trying to gather my words here. I honestly think this is going to be the better of the two options for now. So we have a total of 23 iterations. Out of those iterations, 12 were correct to guessing the upside. Now that puts us with an upside accuracy of about 52.17%. with an averaged upside thrust of 58.16% over the span of about 9.16 days. If we, just so you can get an idea, if we were to put our averaged upside from our current position, actually, to be fair, the signal went off right at the top of the candle when we hit a 135. So let's go ahead and add 52.17, I'm sorry, that was 58.16%. So let's see where that puts us. Now remember, these are not certainties, these are just averaged, these are just statistics, so they're not actual, they're not actually, true per se. So, and let's go ahead and draw a trend line right where that is. So let's see. Gotta get rid of that tool. Here we go. Okay. Now, first of all, we're already being put at the range high. This is the range high that when we hit at, let's see, that was June 1st. We hit a high of, if you can see it right over there, 205. Sorry, I actually didn't bring my my glasses in tonight, so it's a little harder for me to see. But that puts us in direct influence with this range high right here. Now let's go ahead and come back a bit and take a look at how many times we've actually hit that area. I can see it right there. We can see it all through this area right here. Used as support. We used it as resistance right there. Oh man, all of this. So this is definitely a key resistance area, meaning that it's like if we were to go up, which I don't think is going to happen tomorrow. If we were to go up, this would be likely our stop before we start retracing once more. Now, this is the target that I would be looking for maybe after some downside. Now, let's talk about the downside now, which is what I honestly, my bias is leaning towards this. So we have 11 iterations to where the 95 percentile BBWP fully expanded, started contracting to the downside along with price action to the downside. So that puts us with a downside accuracy of 47.82%, with a downside thrust of 39.28% over the span of about 15.45 days. Please notice that they are averaged days. So I mean, if this move were to start tomorrow, you know, we can hit it within 1 day or 2 days. We can hit it within an hour, but the span is 15.45 days. So it can take up to that time. So we do have to practice some patience right here. So now, likely, similarly to how we did for the upside, let's go ahead and take the chart where we have the descending broadening wedge and subtract the 39.28% downside thrust to see where that puts us. So again, sorry, I know I just said it. So 39.28%, and the signal fired when we were at the top. So let's see. 39.28% puts us, wow, okay. Okay. 39.28%. Let's just grab a trend line. Man, what? When did the signal fire off? Let's make sure that the signal fired off right at the 135. Oh, actually, 93%. It would. Yeah, it did fire off right at the 135 level. Okay, perfect. So yeah, let's draw a trend line at the bottom of that measurement right there and see where that puts us. So yesterday, if you guys recall, we were talking about potentially finding some support. Or let's look at that RSI real quick. Were we going up or down first? This is MMAT on the 30-minute, and I remember these RSIs were a little bit unbiased. Okay, so we're going down almost immediately, it's suggesting. Okay, so 5%, 5-minute, and man, okay. All right, so it's talking about an immediate downside. So if we are here, judging by the 1 minute and the 3 minutes, we can actually just jump up slightly to our candle high or our range high, which is going to be about 90 cents before we find rejection and come back to test first the 382 at 85 cents. The thing is that if we're impulsively moving to the downside, we can come down first to the averaged 39.28%, which is serving as we've definitely used this as resistance and support. So there's the possibility to where we can pierce through, bounce here at the 82 cent level, and find resistance at our 382. At our not 382, and then eventually come down to test our new support from the descending broadening wedge. Like I said, you guys, these are. Yesterday, I gave you guys a range, I believe, of about. I mean, if I were to gauge entry, it would be 75 to about 80 cents. That would be. Sorry, was that? Yeah, between 75 and 80 cents would be essentially the area for a long position. We want to make sure that we can confirm support at this range. So if we're looking at tomorrow, that support lands at about 78 cents, or the 236, which is sorry you guys, it's just blocking it. Let's see. Yeah, so that would be a 79 cent entry. So honestly, it would be, to be exact, 75 to 79 would be a long entry, but we can confirm this with an hour with a closing basis candle of about an hourly candle, preferably a 4-hour candle closure above this point of inflection, which is our support. And then from there, the bounce, we'd start trickling up just little by little according to the indicators. But that's it for the video, you guys. If you have any questions, please reach out to me on Twitter. Twitter is at ARCa Bulls, ARCa Bulls. and Discord. I know some of you have already started following me. Thank you so much, by the way. And please feel free to send me messages there. I'm always answering. I'm always trying to help people out. So, yeah, again, you guys, I'll catch you tomorrow at the bell. If any questions, again, just reach out to me and we'll talk soon. Adios.